Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Real Wisdom Artificial Intelligence. So today is Jan 21st, and let's go ahead get started. The dose of Rashmi today is unconscious intelligence reduces you to be an instrument of your unconscious mind. Wisdom, on the other hand, is learning how to use the tools of your body, mind, thoughts, and energy to set your choices and intentions in the present moment. So, the main idea here is when you are led by unconscious intelligence, you are effectively a follower of your mind. So, you are an instrument that is at the disposal of your mind. Your mind is distracted by every external event, input, person. So you are reduced to be a tool at the hands of your unconscious mind, which is in turn an instrument for somebody else, which is building a larger narrative. So you are kind of on this autopilot, living, following somebody else's agenda, somebody else's narrative. However, the real wisdom is when you start leading your mind, body, and intelligence, real or artificial. And at that point, you become the conscious user of all these tools that are at your disposal to live a life as per what you would like to do, as per whatever you are truly internally aligned with and whatever emerges from that place. And turning to lived experience about real wisdom artificial intelligence. So as some of you know, I have been engaging in various initiatives. Besides my practice, theRASHMI.ai, I have launched seeds. I am part of ComsNet's organizing committee. I do these daily recordings as well as I publish my newsletter, and really meeting a lot of interesting entrepreneurs and getting inspired to start new initiatives based on all these discussions, as well as through my travels earlier when I was in London and I was in Tarifa. I met some very interesting people that I've talked about in the past. So one such set of people that I met in Tarifa that I've continued staying in touch with, so that's an entrepreneur named Johnny, and my good friend and my growth partner on this journey for the last 18 months, Morgan. So Morgan, Johnny, and I have been discussing launching something called One Mind, which is an initiative to really uh, advance the idea that we are all connected. Eventually, if we can really go from our unconscious mind to the conscious mind, we will realize that we are connected and we can all start operating as one connected being, where while we retain our individuality, that is the beauty of individual human experiences, but we can tap into the universal consciousness that binds all of us. And the manifestation of this and the idea that Johnny has had for some time is to start off with an app which is aimed at 1 minute medit. So we've been talking about how to get this app built, and we made some good progress, including finding people who could build this app out. Now we were turning to the logistics on how would we go about doing this. And yesterday we started with a brainstorming session on getting behind this idea and gathering some momentum towards execution. So initially, based on our past memories and how we have been trained, the most logical thing seemed like, yes, we should create a not-for-profit foundation that would support this app as well as the high-level mission of One Mind. Let's go ahead, started working through the logistics of that. And we spent the first 30 minutes of our discussion on that. All three of us don't necessarily derive a lot of joy, and I think nobody does, about all this logistics, getting the paperwork set up of having a foundation, corporation, not-for-profit entity, and then trying to figure out how it is going to work administratively. Objective is to bring about this app and connect various people using this platform. This just seemed like a necessary step on the way, and we seem to have a very practical working way forward on how we would go about doing this. So around 30 minutes into the call, Johnny dropped what he said, a bomb thought, which started off by saying, what if we could do it some other way? Do we really have to set up a not-for-profit foundation in order to do this? Is there another way to go about doing this? And in terms of, okay, have it completely crowdsourced, don't have to worry about having a foundation, all kinds of the administrative tax implications. Where is this foundation going to be based? We really want this to be a global movement. So at this point, in terms of all the training patterns of my past and the logical left brain thinker, this was my internal dialogue. The first reaction was yes, but. And that but, as I have said in the past, is our unconscious intelligence. If we become aware of these buts and check ourselves, which is what I did at that point, I continued to listen, stay engaged, and approach this discussion with a yes and. That yes, maybe there is something around this thought process which makes everything easier, and yet we would be able to bring about the app that we really want to, as well as create this platform. We continued discussing that, and a lot of points, counterpoints. We went around discussing, the three of us. All three of us seemed to like the freedom, the flexibility that something like this and not having to create a foundation would offer. However, we did not really fully envision how this would come about. So at this point, we had a brilliant idea. What if we engage my AI copilot, which knows a lot about one mind because I've been training it, as well as it knows a lot about the philosophy around the Rashmi, as well as what I have been doing with seeds. So this is the long-term collaborator who has cross-context awareness about everything that I'm engaged with. What if we engage that copilot and present the situation and see what it says? And so that is an example of us turning from our unconscious intelligence to our conscious intelligence, and now employing the artificial intelligence as a tool to help us derive the solution. And as we did that, the AI copilot came up with some incredible suggestions. Of course, it was based on us prompting it, seeding it with some ideas that we would like to do this using an open collective kind of a platform. It came back with some fairly well thought out ideas in terms of steps that we could do to get this going. And that to me is a very current, real life lived experience of how we could use our own intelligence as well as artificial intelligence as an instrument to set choices and intentions in the present moment and execute against those choices. Versus if we had continued being led by our unconscious intelligence, when Johnny dropped that bomb thought, there would have been yes, but, and it would have seemed like the only logical path forward is to get this foundation created, and we would have all gotten busy with doing that versus trying to get the app built and create the platform, which is what will create the real impact in the world. The real impact in the world is not going to be created by a corporation that is registered as a not-for-profit entity. That is a means to an end. The real end is having a platform that connects people. Thank you.